Welcome, brilliant minds and curious souls, to the 90th episode of the Wisdom Podcast. I'm your host Pratik, and today we are going to embark on a journey deep into the realm of genius inventors. In the last couple of months, the team of Wisdom Podcast has been studying the biographies of great inventors such as Nicola Tesla, Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Edison, and Elon Musk. We were curious about the thought process that goes into inventing something new. We wanted to unravel the secrets of creativity. Ask yourself this question: how do great minds like Nikola Tesla, Leonardo da Vinci, and Elon Musk come up with groundbreaking ideas out of thin air, revolutionizing the way we live and think? How do they learn new things quickly? What makes them stand apart? Is it their IQ level, or is there some kind of smart strategy they use? Stay with us till the end and you will have tons of practical insights you can apply in your life. Know this: if you are human, you have creative powers inside you, waiting to be discovered. Here are 5 strategies to discover your hidden creative potential. Number 1. The reading and research techniques. In our research, we observed that it is not the high IQ level that defines a genius. It's never about the IQ level. The trick here is to use smart strategies for learning things. Let us start with how great inventors read and research. Whenever we want to study something, we directly search about it on the internet or grab a book related to the topic. But in doing so, we skip one important step. Great inventors do not just start reading a book or searching about the topic on the internet. Before starting to read or research anything, they form a basic set of questions in their minds or on paper. For example, let us say you want to study artificial intelligence. You should start by forming a basic set of questions like what is artificial intelligence, where the idea came from, what does artificial intelligence do, and what are its applications, etc. After writing down these questions on paper, go and start reading about AI. You will see that one by one all your doubts will be cleared and your retention will miraculously go up. You will be able to remember the information more efficiently. Just keep in mind 2 things. 1. While reading, always take notes. Call me old school, but I suggest using pen and paper. Throughout our history, all creative minds have shaped their ideas on paper. Number 2. Start researching from the origin. If you want to invent something in technology or any other field, always start from the beginning, from the roots of that subject. Read the history of that subject or technology. It would help you to understand how that idea or invention arrived in the first place. For example, if you read the history of artificial intelligence on Wikipedia or in books, you would find that the idea of artificial intelligence first arrived in science fiction books like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, a machine that can think and learn. So see, you get to know how it all started in the first place. Once you are done with the research, the next thing is to visualize. Do you know how filmmakers and actors read the stories? They visualize all events and scenes described in that story. Great inventors do it too. Nikola Tesla is a legendary inventor. He is the reason why we get to use electricity today. He invented alternating current by building an induction motor. He read hundreds of books while visualizing all the theories, and you know what? Before inventing that motor, he was literally able to visualize how that motor would work. Even most of the theories of Albert Einstein are based on visualization. He first visualized it and then he tried to prove it with the help of science. Einstein famously stated, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." He often used thought experiments and visualizations to explore complex scientific concepts. His breakthroughs in theoretical physics, such as the theory of relativity, were influenced by his ability to mentally visualize and stimulate different scenarios. Another example would be Leonardo da Vinci. Often regarded as one of the greatest inventors and polymaths in history, Vinci used detailed sketches and drawings as a form of visualization. His notebooks are filled with intricate illustrations of inventions ranging from flying machines to innovative engineering designs. A fun fact: one of Da Vinci's notebooks, called the Codex Lancaster, was purchased by Bill Gates for $30.8 million, making it the most valuable manuscript in the world. Strategy number 3. Relating your old knowledge to the new one. Imagine how much you already know. Just contemplate everything you have learned and experienced during all the years that you have been alive. Everything seems pretty vast, doesn't it? Your brain is full of knowledge gathered throughout your lifetime. Storing all this knowledge is beneficial because it can be used to predict future occurrences. Now here is an interesting fact. The knowledge your brain has already stored can be used to learn new things faster. Here is how it works. Always recall related knowledge actively when you are learning information. For example, if you want to learn about the current situation in a certain country, recall what you already know about its history. Don't be tempted to look everything up immediately, even though Google has made that so easy. Take some time to retrieve what your own brain has stored about the topic first, even if it doesn't relate directly to what you are studying. This act of retrieving knowledge has been shown to be very beneficial to learning, strengthening both the stored and the newly learned knowledge. If you are unsure if you have got the facts right, or if you find there are gaps in your knowledge, you can always check online afterwards. This is a good way to help identify and correct misconceptions as well. If you read anything new about any technology, relate your old knowledge of the subject with the new one. Pay attention to how that technology has changed over time, how it has evolved. This will help you understand how creativity works. Let's put it into our example of AI. If you already have read something about artificial intelligence in the past and now you are reading new things about it, focus on how people have modified that technology over time. This will make you more creative and you will be able to bring new things into the world. Strategy number 4. Bring in lots and lots of ifs, could be and would be's. What if I do this? What would be the outcome? What modifications or advancements could be there? Leonardo da Vinci once said, "It is not enough to see what is there. You need to think about what could be there in times to come." In any field, it is true. In the technology sector, you cannot achieve or invent anything unless you can modify it for future generations. Learning how to modify current things or technology can also make you a great inventor. Strategy number 5. Hang out with people that work in the field that you want to invent something in, which means surround yourself with like-minded people. Elon Musk, a billionaire entrepreneur, is the best example of this. Before Elon Musk founded PayPal, an online payment service, he worked as an intern in a bank. He wanted to surround himself with the bankers and get to know the banking system. After PayPal, when he wanted to do something in the space industry, he read many books about rockets and lived in Los Angeles. He moved to Los Angeles because it is the major manufacturing hub of the aerospace industry. The US Air Force, NASA and Boeing have performed much of their cutting-edge experimentation and manufacturing in Los Angeles. When Elon moved to Los Angeles, he got himself surrounded by scientists, and now just look at SpaceX. It is a successful company and aims to take humans to Mars. Strategy number 6. The real-world use cases. Now here's the harsh truth. Your service or your product is useless if people don't use it. Elon Musk once said in an interview, "I'm a bigger fan of Edison than Tesla." Why? Because Edison brought his stuff to market and made those inventions accessible to the world. Making your product accessible to people is important. It is the most difficult yet important step. Sometimes people don't realize that they need some tool or some technology to make their lives easier. So you should be able to create that need for your product in society. When Apple invented its first iPhone, Steve Jobs explained to people how the iPhone is going to make their life easier. Here is a 30-second clip of how he did it.
This is a day I've been looking forward to for 2.5 years. Every once in a while, a revolutionary product comes along that changes everything. Today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone. And the third is a breakthrough internet communications device. So, 3 things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. An iPod, a phone, and an internet communicator. An iPod, a phone. Are you getting it? These are not three separate devices. This is one device. And we are calling it iPhone. Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone.
Remember this, if you cannot explain your concept or product in a simple language, then you don't understand it well enough. Start explaining your concepts to your friends, your girlfriend, or your parents and see how they respond. Explain your concepts by giving day-to-day real-world examples. Simplify your explanation as much as possible. Imagine you are explaining your concept to 4th grade students. If they can understand it, then anyone can. Strategy number 7, the real source of motivation. All the strategies we discussed today sound like they are easy to apply, but in reality they are not. Reading, researching, coming up with new products, and explaining their use cases to people is very exhausting. In this process, you will face a lot of ups and downs, all of which can make you tired, and sometimes you will feel demotivated. It is common for everyone, even all the successful people and most creative people struggle with this problem. Here is a clever strategy for setting goals or targets for yourself. This strategy will keep you motivated instead of making you feel overwhelmed. When you set a target or a goal, divide it into time spans and milestones. For example, you can say in 2 years, I am going to achieve this much. That would be my first milestone. The best example of this would be Hollywood actor Arnold. His ultimate goal was to become rich and famous. When he was young, he set a goal for himself. Arnold's first goal was to be the greatest bodybuilder in the world, which meant becoming Mr. Olympia. When he reached there, he set out to become a Hollywood actor. After that, he became the governor of California. So see, the ultimate goal always remained the same. He just divided them into sub-goals. If you divide your life's ultimate goal into sub-goals, then when you achieve these sub-goals one by one, you feel rewarded and happy, and that keeps you going towards your ultimate goal. Even science approves it. When you get a reward or when people praise you for your efforts, your brain releases dopamine, which makes you feel happy. Even social media sites like Facebook and Instagram exploit this human tendency. Whenever you upload a photo or a video, you always check your profile repeatedly to see how many likes you are getting. Those likes make you feel rewarded and your brain makes you happy by releasing dopamine. So celebrate when you achieve your sub-goals one by one. But remember, all your sub-goals should serve your ultimate purpose. The destination might remain the same, but paths can be different. People will always tell you that if you want to invent something or want to start a new startup, you just need to find out a problem and then a solution for that problem. But that is not true. It is not that simple. You cannot come up with an idea unless you have read lots of books or articles related to the field in which you want to invent something. You can only rectify or identify a problem if you have a particular level of knowledge about that field or if you have work experience in that field. This rule applies to every genius inventor and every field. Even the great inventor Nikola Tesla worked many years for Edison to understand how electricity works, and then he invented induction motor. Do not ever think that idea will just suddenly pop up in your brain. You need a good amount of knowledge for that. Let me tell you that on the Wisdom Podcast, I ask questions to the world's greatest books on business, entrepreneurship, and personal growth, and the books answer my questions. They really do. So on this podcast, you get to experience the magic of books that speak. And you know what? I can even invite the dead people on this podcast because their wisdom survives in the form of books. On this podcast, intellectuals and curious individuals who are on a journey to become successful come to get answers to the most important questions on entrepreneurship, business, and personal growth. See you in the next episode of the Wisdom Podcast.